If we don't get a deal before the election, does it matter to equity markets?
I don't think anyone's expecting a deal before the election, Guy, and that's a simple fact. It's only 20 some odd days away, and it's very, very unlikely. The question for me is not if it comes before the election, or it's when it happens and to what magnitude. And the reason I think the markets are moving higher this week, Guy, is because it seems with increasing possibility that there is this blue sweep, and that's only positive, I would say, for one reason alone. And that reason is fiscal stimulus, because that is going to be big and bad and mighty if we get this blue sweep. So that's what I think is driving the markets. What has taken us to these heights is both monetary and fiscal stimuli, and the lack thereof could take us lower, and the prospects for more will take us higher. And I think that really is what at the end of the day is moving the markets.
So, Kathryn, you indicate that the timing isn't as important as just the fact that we get a deal and then ultimately its size. But when does timing become important? If we get through this fourth quarter of this year, if it doesn't come until after Inauguration Day, whether or not we get a Biden or a second Trump presidency, doesn't that matter? Neel Kashkari, the president of the Fed over in Minneapolis, spoke on CBS earlier this weekend, basically begging for fiscal stimulus, saying the recovery is slowing. Just take a listen to what he had to say.
The data is very clear. The recovery, the strong recovery that we saw in June and July has really flattened out. The virus is climbing now again around the country, especially here in my region, in Minnesota, the Dakotas, Wisconsin. And so you're seeing consumers pull back and not want to go out, not want to take that risk again. And so, unfortunately, we still have a long way to go in this pandemic, and that means we need continued assistance.
So, Kathryn, I guess my question is, can assistance really wait another 3+ months?
Well, Kayla, I think that's the right question. And retail sales come out this Friday, and we're expecting that to be the 5th consecutive month of expansion, but at a decelerating rate. The question we have to ask ourselves is this recovery in consumption and U.S. economic activity driven by fundamentals and some phenomenal acceleration in job creation and companies reopening and hiring in great spurts, or is it due to government transfer payments and government stimuli? And I think it's the latter. I mean, you see in the month of April, the Bureau of Economic Analysis said that 30% of personal incomes now are derived from government benefits. That's an eye-popping number, and I think we have to come to terms with the fact that general consensus, both on the right and on the left, is that the government is managing the economy, and it's incumbent upon them to continue to, see its expansion. So yes, I think that it does become an issue if over the course of 2021 we do not see, another fiscal stimulus come to fruition. I think it's definitely in the works, especially as I say we get, a Democratic sweep. I don't think it's a matter of if, Kaylee. I think it's a matter of magnitude. If it's Republican, you get $1.5 trillion. If it's Democrat, you get $3.5 trillion and higher.